Hey Mepham, welcome back to the Midweek Update.
In today's episode, we take a look at a Long Island urban legend, a local musical group, a preview of the Cheer National Send-Offs, and a look at one holiday you may not be too familiar with.
This and more on this week's Midweek Update. I'm Oliver Mattes.
And I'm Emma Santiago, and welcome back to the Midweek Update, the B&B show that brings you closer to the people and places in and around the Mepham community.
So Emma, did you have a great week off for midterms?
I actually did. Once I finished the ELA regions, I spent my time scrolling, watching movies, TV shows, game shows, and even documentaries.
You know what? I also watched a few documentaries, and I learned something really interesting.
Oliver, what are you talking about?
You don't know all about Long Island's urban legends?
And you do?
Yes. And our next story can teach a little bit more about a really famous one.
Long Island is home to suburban sprawl, shopping malls, and endless traffic. It's also home to one of the most infamous urban legends in America, the Amityville Horror House. The tale of the Lutz family, who reported terrifying paranormal encounters after moving in during 1975, has haunted the imaginations of people for decades, inspiring countless books, movies, and debates.
Years ago, there was a family that lived there, and the brother killed the family, and then he went to prison, and then the next family moved in January of the year after, the Lutz family, and their father used to practice Satanism, whatever you want to call it.
The true horror of the Amityville house isn't in its ghost stories. It lies in the tragic murders that happened within its walls exactly 50 years ago on November 13th, 1974. It was at 112 Ocean Avenue in Amityville, New York, that 23-year-old Ronald DeFeo Jr. shot and killed 6 members of his own family. 1 year later, George and Kathy Lutz moved into that exact house with their 3 children.
The families that have bought it through the years always made changes, and I'm sure it was to wipe out any feeling or any suggestion of the original Amityville horror. Like, I remember when I first time I walked by it, I remember there was a family there, and there was a little girl running around in the front yard, and I was like, how, in God's name, could they, like, move in with a little kid, you know?
I was more afraid that something could happen in my own home. I didn't really know what I was afraid of, but I definitely was a little bit scared. And it was a topic of conversation pretty much everywhere all the time.
Although many feared the house and the story behind it, others believed that it was just an urban legend, a ghost story to tell surrounding a fireplace. Recently, New York Post reporter Reuven Fenton covered the 50th anniversary of the house that surrounds the rumors.
There's a lot of believers out there. I happen to not be one of them, but you know, I know that people actually really and truly do believe that these events happen, and that kind of opened my eyes to this idea that there are people among us who, you know, who believe in supernatural things, and it was a two-sided thing. It was a murder case and then a haunted house story. And there's really nothing like it that I know of. And you know, a movie got made out of it. So people just, you know, they just eat this up. They find it fascinating. I mean, for better or for worse, at the expense of this poor family that died. But people won't stop being fascinated by it.
There's been no real substantial evidence, but people still believe that certain things happened in the house.
So there's something in Western esotericism called an egregore. And what that is if everybody believes something, the energy of those thoughts actually becomes a thing. So if enough movies come out and enough people believe in the legend that it was haunted, then it sort of almost becomes haunted and takes on a life of its own.
The fact of the murder is undeniable. The question is, do you agree with the critics' beliefs that the Lutz story was a hoax, or do you dare to trust in the chilling horrors of the Amityville Horror House, where nightmares come to life?
Oliver, how on earth did I not know about that?
I have not a single clue, Emma. With everything that is accessible on our phones, you'd think we'd all know more.
Not me. I'm listening to music and personally celebrating TikTok's comeback.
Honestly, same. But you know, I actually know about a local group of teens who are choosing to play music instead of only listening to it.
That sounds like such a much more productive time than me just sitting on Spotify. Let's take a look.
Well, rock, if I talk specifically about rock, I feel like I look at it as philosophy, lifestyle, and attitude.
Art is a passion, but music is a lifestyle. Music is more than just the beat of a drum or the strum of a guitar. It's an expression of life, connecting people through rhythm and soul.
Unless you really hear there, right? Unless there's something we missed. Here at the Rock Underground, over time, through our program, we have enough kids that usually sign up for a specific instrument to take lessons, and then if we have enough of them together that are good enough proficiency and around the same age, we put them together in a band.
Despite the many demands in a teenager's life, this group of students dedicates time each week to come together, practice, and jam.
Like scheduling time to make room for both school and music.
Yeah, like we rehearse usually 3 days a week for like 3 hours a day, and a lot of people think that's a lot, but when you're really into it, it's not that much. Like I wish we could be here every day and not have school or homework or anything.
All those things that we try to teach them from there, give them the process of what it is to be in a band. Most of them come in, well, they've already been, music chose them. So they've already come with a feeling of, I belong here, I want to be here, and now what's next?
I thought it would be like more of like a thing that I did on the side, but because of all the time I spend with everyone here and how often we practice, we are actually really close, and I would say that they're like some of my best friends.
Being a part of the band means a lot to me because I feel like we're a family. This is like my second home. So yeah, I feel like without them, I'd be nowhere near where I am now. So I appreciate everything.
They're much more willing to accept whatever tutelage I might give, me or any of our teachers, you know, anything that we can give them, any wisdom from the things that we've gone through. I mean, the plain, simple facts is empirically, there's things they haven't done that we have done.
This is my dad's guitar, which he gave to me. He just picked it up one day and he started playing, and I was like, I want to do that. So, like, I asked him, can I try? And then he started like teaching me some stuff, and then I started teaching myself some stuff, and then I started coming here, and that's where we are today.
For these teenagers, music is more than just a hobby or an art form. It's a force that defines who they are and who they will become. For B&B, I'm Maya Passanisi.
I have to say, I wish I played an instrument so I could be in a band.
I know exactly what you mean, but this also makes me wonder if Hailey Gardner plays an instrument.
Honestly, I feel like she would, but where did that come from?
Well, you know, she always knows what's going on around Mepham. Like the upcoming cheer send-offs. She just seems like a multi-talented musical type.
Wait, did you say something about cheer? I didn't even know that was happening. I seriously hope Hailey knows more.
5, 6, 7. Thanks guys, I'm here at the Mepham gym where our very own Pirates varsity cheer team is practicing to compete on their trip to Orlando, Florida. These girls have been working all year to be able to compete at the national level, and their efforts will be showcased from February 6th to the 11th.
We work really hard starting in the football season to prepare, and once we get our routine, we put in countless hours to make sure we can perfect our skills and try each week to make them better and better, and by national season, hopefully be able to hit a perfect routine at nationals.
To support the girls before they leave, make your way to the North Gym this Thursday, January 30th at 7 p.m. and watch the cheer send off. It would be great for everyone to come support these hardworking girls before they leave. That's all for me. I'll see you this Thursday, but until then, I'm Hailey Gardner, sending it back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Hailey. I'm so excited for the send-offs now. I'm going to be there 100%.
I feel you, Emma. You're looking forward to send-offs. I'm looking forward to Valentine's Day. But did you know about another holiday even closer than that?
Oliver, I think I know exactly what you're talking about. Is it possibly today?
I think we better let Jacob Sarduy tell us more. He's the expert here.
Thanks, guys. You may be wondering why we have off today, but don't worry, I'm here to explain. Today is Lunar New Year. Now, you may also be wondering, what is that? Well, this day marks the beginning of a new year on the lunar calendar, which is based on the moon's cycles instead of the sun. Lunar New Year, which is also known as Chinese New Year, is celebrated by billions of people around the world on the first new moon of the lunar calendar year. This day emphasizes celebration, tradition, and culture. Within Mepham, we've also been celebrating Lunar New Year. On Monday, Mandarin Honor Society hosted a dumpling making activity for students to participate in, and there's also been decorations put up around the halls to celebrate the holiday. Well, now you know. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Jacob. I knew literally nothing about Lunar New Year before that.
Yeah, that was really helpful. I need that level of breakdown for the sports going on right now.
I know exactly what you mean, and thankfully, Jake Manno's got our back for that one.
Thanks, guys, and I'm so excited to be back on the midweek set. It's really been a while. But why not jump right into things? Starting off inside. Yesterday, the boys basketball team, after a hard-fought first half, unfortunately fell to the Rebels. Next, to the girls, who had all the spotlight here at Mepham. B&B's cameras were there as the girls faced off against a top contender in Garden City. However, despite the quality game from the senior leaners, the girls unfortunately were not able to continue their winning streak. But they look to bounce back in their district rivalry game against the Colts and their B&B redemption game. Last, but certainly not least, we go to a little bit colder weather on the ice. The district-wide Bulldogs continued their dominance yesterday at home. With 4 different goal scorers in a 5-3 victory, it really took everyone to take down Bethpage. Unfortunately, that's about all I have for you guys today, and I'm starting to just get impatient waiting for playoffs. But until then, I'm Jake Manno, sending it back to Emma and Oliver.
Thanks, Jake. Hope you spent your midterm week watching every second of sports that you could.
I'm sure he did. Almost as sure as I am about this episode being done. That being said, make sure to tune in next week for even more news stories from around the Bellmore-Merrick Central High School District to bring you inside the parts of the community we don't always get to see. Until then, I'm Emma Santiago.
And I'm Oliver Mattes, and have a wonderful week.
Yay.
Enthusiasm. Yep. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cut.